Alright guys, this is Inaccurate. So, as you can tell from the title, I finally got around to watching the redo of A Healer. And now I know why everybody was talking about it about like a year ago. To give my honest opinion, I would say it was a very below average anime, but also a really good hentai. So, I mean, it's in that gray zone, right? So basically, if you haven't watched it, the anime is about this guy who becomes a healer, and because he has such amazing healing powers, everybody wants him, or his powers at least. But because of that, when he heals people, he also gains all their memories and all their like past traumas and stuff. So there's a lot of pain involved with him healing. So to kind of get him to do his healing job, they drug him, and then they also F him in the A, and I mean that very literally. And not only because of his healing powers, he also has very magical leveling up splooge. So it's kind of hard to place the redoing of A Healer. You know, as an anime, there's a lot of flaws because I could point things out like, oh, the plot. You know, there was that thing about him redoing his life, and for some reason he still picked the path where he still gets effed in the A in the dungeon. So I'm just kind of wondering that because he already knew that would happen, so he could have just avoided that whole situation, go to those people who are in need and heal them, and then gain their abilities and whatnot. And then that would also solve it, and he could just sneak into the castle and kill people. And then there's also the thing about the villagers and in the Colosseum. And then there was that thing about his green-haired demon friend. You know how that turns out. And then besides the story point, there's also things I could point out about his powers, like why as a healer can you deteriorate people? Like, I thought it was like a one-way kind of go. Plus, he's rewinding time. He's messing with people's memories. I don't understand how healing does that as well. There's just a whole bunch of messy kind of plot points there. And then that just kind of brings into like the whole hentai part where if it's a hentai, you're not really there for the plot. The plot. You're there for the big anime titties. And you're also there for, just the sloppy seconds. So, things like plot, things like powers comes very second nature. And in that regard, since they actually even added a plot in there, like a decent plot in there, that makes it a really good hentai. Now, obviously, I said a lot of bad things about it. I mean, there are good things about it. Like, there was that penis slap scene, and that was very top tier comedy. Just fantastic, golden. It was very popular. Everybody knew what this anime was and what it entailed, and yet they still kind of watched it. And like me, I just kind of watched it all the way through. I mean, the way it was described to me, it was like pretty much revenge porn, the anime, as well as guilty pleasure. And another comment kind of described it as turning off the lights, putting on my headphones, and closing the door. And I was like, yeah, that pretty much sums it up. And you know what? By the end of the 12th episode, I looked through all the comments. A lot of people were clamoring for a season 2. A lot of people, like a lot. You know what? In the end, I actually liked it as well. There's a lot of loose ends. There's a lot of bad plot points. I mean, anything you can really say that's bad about the main character can be attributed to is like, oh yeah, he's just really screwed up and broken from his past experiences. So, he can't be like a normal person, blah, 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 and stuff like that. Yeah. So if you're a Coomer, this is a Coomer anime. If you like Goblin Slayer episode 1, this is the perfect anime for you. Or hentai, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's pretty much just my thoughts on it. I just kind of wanted to share that. I'm out. Bye.